Good morning, Royals. It has been a very challenging week for me. I don't really know where to start. We went on vacation last week and we had a great time, but the very last day of vacation, Presley basically just had a meltdown. And I guess we've kind of seen it coming for a little while now. She gets very agitated when you make her do anything, as far as just anything, like even going to her appointments, which she used to not mind so much. She just has a complete meltdown, yelling, screaming, cursing, and her new favorite thing is saying that she's going to kill us, or I'm going to strangle you, or I'm going to, it's just threats like that. Basically just aimed at me and Michael because we are the primary ones that make her do things. She has never done anything to her sister or threatened her sister, which is good. But she did tell Scarlett that she wanted her to help her kill mommy, or did she want to help her kill mommy? And I guess that was like the breaking point for me when I heard that, because Scarlett's 2 years old, and I don't want that seed to be planted in her head. And yes, I know she's only 2, but she's closer to 3 than she is 2, and it's just you don't want that to be said to your 2-year-old. And my other child was the one to say it. So anyway, I had to make a decision, and it was a hard decision, and it was a decision that I didn't want to make, but I basically decided to take her to the hospital for a emergency sort of crisis evaluation. She was calm when I took her, and very sweet, and that's kind of always the thing. These meltdowns happen, and then it's like everything resets with Presley and returns to normal, but everybody else is left with, we still remember what you did. And that same day that she said that about me, she also tried to she made like lunges at Brandon and tried to grab him. So she was getting like increasingly more physical with these outbursts, which, it's scary. So I had to make the decision to see if I could get her some help. I feel like her medication is not effective anymore. So they did do the evaluation, and from the things I said, they were kind of going back and forth on, could she be at the facility because of her developmental delays. And then they said that, there wasn't that many kids in there right now, so that would be a good thing. So they basically decided to take her. From that point on, they put her in scrubs, took her clothes. She was not allowed to have tennis shoes. I took all her clothes back home with me. And pretty much she had no possessions except the scrubs that she was wearing. She was very upset, crying. She did not want to stay. I was just like, I think it'll only be a couple days, because that's what the first nurse told me. But a couple days actually turned into, I took her in on Monday, and she got to the facility on Monday evening, and I'm thinking that she'll get to come home today. I'm hoping and praying that she gets to come home today. It's Friday. I have visited her every day, and she's very remorseful and regretful for what she did, and she just keeps saying that I'll change, and I'm like, yes, I want you to change, but I want you to be in a better state. Just, I don't want these actions that you're doing and you're taking to be your go-to. And it's harder for me just because she is a special needs child. She's not just a bad kid. Like the kids up there, they know that they did something to get up there. And yeah, she knows that she did something to get up there, but she's taking it way harder. And like mentally, I'm not sure, this is what I struggle with. Mentally, I'm not sure that she can handle this. Like, her tics have increased greatly. I've visited her every day since she's been up there. The visiting time is 1 hour while they eat their dinner. So I've been up there every day, and she's just, you know, the first couple days she just cried the whole time, hugged me and cried. And you know, the second day of that, I was like, I can't take this anymore. I've got to bring her home. And I called, you know, the nurse, and she's like, just wait till you talk to the doctor tomorrow. And it's just, you know, everybody tells me you're doing the right thing, you're doing the right thing, but I'm the one that had to make the decision, and I'm the one that had to take her there. And I appreciate that everybody tells me that I made the right decision, but it doesn't feel like the right decision. It feels like almost like I've given up on her, but it's really the opposite. It's because I don't want to give up on her. You know, I want her to be able to take family vacations with friends and not have things like this happen, because having a special needs child with mental issues is not an easy road to hoe. And you feel isolated a lot. And you know, everybody's like, when she has these outbursts and things like that, well, what are you gonna do when she cusses in front of her sister and drops the F-bomb, and what are you gonna do? And there's nothing that I can do. There's really no consequences to her that that matter per se. Okay, anyway, back to it. I was just saying that there's really no consequence to her that really matters. Like, we've taken TV away from her, tablet away from her, her phone away from her, and nothing seems to have an impact. You know, I feel like a normal child, you can take things away, they want their things back, so they act better. Or if they're starting to act up, you can threaten with that, and they kind of straighten up. Or, you know, I know a lot of parents that spank their children, and that has an impact on them. They don't want to be spanked, so they act right. And that's kind of the way I was raised, the way Mike was raised, but that does not work with Presley. It just does not work. I think you could pretty much beat her to, I don't know. It just does not have an impact, you know, and everybody is quick to judge, like, you should do this with her and you should do that with her, and you just don't understand unless you have a child with special needs. Like, there is a disconnect. It's not like the rest of us. There's no rationalizing with her a lot of times. Like, I hate to say it, but it's easier to rationalize and talk to Scarlett than it is Presley. And Presley is bad about creating like a fantasy world because of the TV shows and the things she watches and the YouTube videos and all that. She gets very much wrapped up in these this fantasy TV life, and she kind of thinks that that's her reality. And the only other thing, you know, that I can say that I think that, you know, if really something I should not have done was to let her watch like the Suicide Squad and the Harley Quinn stuff and get into that so much, and the Joker, because they're villains, and she thinks that being bad is good. She thinks that that behavior is what you should do, and that they're powerful, and that nobody can make them do anything because they're villains and that's the way they are. And she's kind of like idolized this sort of fantasy. So that's kind of one of the things that we've talked about when I visited her is, you know, like, we need to lay off of this stuff. That's not a proper role model, and that's not who you should be looking up to. And I do blame myself for that, in kind of, you know, I can look at it, I'm an adult, and say, oh yeah, you know, Harley Quinn, I can watch the movie, I think she's kind of a cool character, whatever, but she just gets completely wrapped up and like infatuated with it. And so, you know, I need to put a stop to that. But anyway, I just wanted to kind of get on here and offer support to any other special needs moms with children with mental issues, or just children with mental issues. You know, it is very hard to have to make the decisions that we have to make, and it's a struggle every day. And you feel alone. You feel very, very, very alone. I think that's the hardest part in all of this, is feeling so alone and just removing yourself from everybody's, you know. You don't want your child to be mean to other people or hurt other people, so you're going to isolate them, which in turn isolates you. And you know, one of the ladies I talked to this week was like, you need help, you need somebody to talk to. She's like, you know, who is helping you and working with you? And I was like, nobody, you know. And she's like, you know, you need to take care of yourself first and foremost. And you know, that's all well and good, but we're moms, and our number one concern is that child and getting that child better. And that's my number one concern right now. I am dealing with what the decision I've had to make myself. It's not been easy. I've been very depressed this week. I haven't really felt like working out. I feel like I'm in a fog. I feel like I didn't want to go to work. It's a hard thing, you know, and Mike sees it and knows it, but there's not really much that he can do. I'm very thankful for him because he's able to take care of Scarlett during this time, because this does take quite a lot of my attention and a lot of my time. But I just want to give anybody support, and if anybody wants to reach out to me, you know, if you're in the St. Louis, Missouri metro area and need contact numbers, or you know, I've got a pretty good resource list going. That's another thing I find extremely hard, because every place I call would be like, you know, no, she wouldn't be a good fit for this facility because she has special needs, or no, she wouldn't be a good fit for this facility because they don't take your insurance, or she wouldn't be a good fit here because of it's like a dorm atmosphere. So, you know, it's just a lot. People are quick to say there's resources out there and there's help out there for you, but it's very hard to find sometimes, very hard to find. So anybody who needs help or wants information, I would be glad to pass along whatever I can and offer my support in whatever I can. Thanks. Excited, guys. I get to pick up Presley, so I am on my way now to go get her, and I'm just hoping that we have a great weekend. Please pray for us that this works and she can become return back to my sweet girl that I know she is. So asking for all the prayers. I am going to link some information below in this for anybody else who might be experiencing some of this, for you know, information purposes, or if you need resources, because like I said, that has been hard for us to get. So any information I can pass along to you guys, I definitely will. So I'm excited to bring my girl home.